Hey everybody, Sean here, Boosted Miata. So I've got a little bit of a different video today. It's kind of a sad video actually. The Boosted Miata was in an accident and the insurance company wants to total the car. So come on, let's talk about this. So a few weeks ago, actually almost a month ago from the time I'm recording this, I was driving my Boosted Miata around town. I decided to take it out for a quick little drive, and then this happened. Mother! Dude.
Are you okay, sir?
My wrist is hurt, but...
Where can you pull over?
Hold on just a second. Let me take a quick look, make sure I can drive it. Why don't you continue straight?
Okay.
Go straight up there to the right and pull up on the curb over there. I'll be right behind you. Hopefully I can drive over there. Okay? Now I'm going to replay it here. So you can see I pull up to this intersection. It's a four-way stop. And there's a black Camaro to my right. You can see I'm behind the limit line. And I notice she's not really looking at me. She's kind of looking over the car. And I'm like, what is going on here? This doesn't look right. And then when she started her turn, I could see her angle wasn't right. And I'm like, here we go. And I was, just didn't have enough time to react. There was someone behind me, so I couldn't really back up. And she whacked me, and whacked me pretty hard. And you can see here the damage to the front bumper, the headlight, the spoiler. There's some damage to the fender here. And it doesn't really look that bad, but the real damage is in the suspension. Now, if you look at this head-on shot, look at the passenger side wheel and see how far it's pushed out compared to the driver's side wheel. And so when they stuck it up on the alignment rack, they could see that the left side was towed out over an inch, which means that's not adjustable, which means there's damage in the suspension. So as you can see here, the estimate came in for a total of $49,34.99. So basically $4,900 for the total repairs, which would include the body repair and the suspension repair. So I send in the $4,900 to the insurance company. A few days later, my insurance company sends me back an email that says total loss. And they go on to explain that my vehicle is considered a total loss because the cost of repairs exceeds the market value of the vehicle. So the way they determine if a vehicle is salvaged in California or a total loss is they take the cost of repairs plus the salvage value of the vehicle. So let's say your cost of repairs is $5,000 and the salvage cost of the vehicle, what the vehicle is worth at salvage, is $1,000. That is $6,000. If your market value is greater or equal to $6,000, then that's considered repairable, not a total loss. If your market value is below that $6,000, then it's considered a total loss salvage vehicle. In this email from my insurance company, you can see here they come up with an actual cash value of my Boosted Miata of $2,850, which is ridiculously low. And then they add taxes, fees, my deductible, which was waived, and they come up with a settlement. They'll pay me $3,532 if they take the car. If I want to keep the car, then it's the actual cash value of the car minus the salvage value, which is like $900. So if I want to keep the car, they're going to pay me $2,150. Okay? Ridiculous. First of all, I'm not going to get the car repaired for $2,150. There's just no way. And second of all, my car's worth way more than $2,850. So this was kind of the first issue that I wanted to resolve. In order to proceed with an insurance claim, you have to have an agreed amount of value for your vehicle. And it has to be something you're happy with, because if it's not enough, they're just going to total your vehicle. I just wasn't happy with having to own a salvage title Miata. I just wasn't going to put any more effort into this car if it was going to be salvaged. So what I did is I gathered all my recent receipts that included engine work, turbo parts, and my roll bar, which I upgraded recently, and put all that together in a document. So I went out and I got comparable values for other Miatas like mine. The prices of those cars ranged from about $6,000 all the way up to $20,000. They came back to me and said, you know what, we agree with you. Your car is worth way more. We're going to value your car at $10,200. And I'm like, fantastic. I'm totally fine with that. That seems like a fair value. Personally, I think it's worth more, but for insurance purposes, I'll accept that. But that doesn't mean anything quite yet. All that means is now they're not going to salvage your car. They're not going to call it a total loss. But you still have to get your money from the insurance company for the repairs. And this is where things went a little haywire. So now we move on to, okay, give me my check. And here I'm thinking I'm going to get a check for $4,900. I'm going to get the car repaired. Everything's going to be cool. And then they send me this. This is their supplemental estimate. So this estimate is what they say they're going to pay me. $2,080, which is interesting because that's about close to what they were going to give me originally when the car was valued much less. They were going to give me $2,100 if I kept the car, or $3,000 if they kept the car, and they would get basically $1,000 for salvage title. So they would only be out $2,000. Isn't that interesting? So for some reason, somewhere, they've got a formula that says the most we can give this guy is $2,000. And this is where we get into how insurance companies work. All those clever ads we see, those funny ads, all that stuff where they're like looking out for us, that's all crap, okay? They don't care about you. All they care about is keeping your money. The way insurance companies work, and everyone knows this, but we seem to forget it, they work by taking your money and then not giving it back to you. That's how they make money, by paying you as little as possible, both for claims and anything else. And it's always a fight. And they always lowball you. And all the years, I've been driving for 40 years, I've dealt with insurance claims many, many times. I've never had a claim go off without a hitch. It's always a fight. And what really upsets me in this whole process is that, you know, I'm normally a pretty calm guy, but when I'm told that I'm lying, when I'm being accused of being a liar, when my claims adjuster, she calls me and says, well, according to the video, your car drove just fine, and you didn't complain on the video about how the suspension was messed up. And from the pictures we see, there's no damage to your suspension. And I said to her, so you're calling me a liar? And this is where things get a little personal. Because, you know, they could have taken a different route and said something like, you know, we want to make sure you get this fixed correctly, but we need to be sure that the suspension is really damaged and needs to be repaired. Let's send someone out to take a third party to come out and take a neutral look at it and determine if it's really damaged or not. And if she had approached it a little more businesslike, and instead of accusing me of just lying straight up, I don't think I would be so offended. But boy, that really offended me. I don't like to be called a liar. So let's fast forward a little bit. It's been yet another week of going back and forth with the insurance company. And finally, they decide to send an inspector up, and he did his inspection. It was clear that there was a lot of damage in various places to throw the alignment off as much as it was. He goes and gives the insurance company his report, and the insurance company, they just go ahead and send a new supplemental estimate. And you can see they are allowing for the suspension work to be done, and the total now body work and suspension work, the repair estimate is $36.94. That's what they're willing to pay me for the damage to the vehicle so I can get it repaired myself. We've discovered more damage. You can see by comparing these two knuckles here. One's a brand new one, the one on top. The one on the bottom is the old one. And you can see the one on the bottom, the control arm mount on the left there is bent compared to the brand new one on top. You can actually see it. And these are the kind of things that are throwing the suspension off. It's a little bit in the knuckle. It's a little bit in the tie rod end. It's a little bit in the control arm bushings. All these things combined together to really throw the suspension off. And that's, that's how Miatas are. They have a really sensitive suspension. Any little damage can throw it off a little bit, and you combine that damage and it throws it off quite a bit. So now I'm going to have to go back to the insurance company for supplemental work. So it's been a bit of a struggle dealing with the insurance company. It's nothing new. This is just kind of how, like I said before, this is just how insurance companies operate. So there are some positives that will come out of this. The Miata is going to get some cool upgrades, which I'll share later. It has to do with the bodywork. It's something I've wanted to do to this car for a very long time, and you'll see that in an upcoming video. And finally, just be willing to fight for what you think is right. You may not get exactly what you want, but look, if I just accepted what they wanted to give me, it would have been like $2,000. And already I got $1,600 more than that, which is great. And it'll allow me to do things and get the car repaired to my satisfaction. And that's all I wanted. So anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. More videos to come. Thanks again, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.